Tomorrow marks 40 years to the day since the first cases of a new virus were discovered in a small group of gay men. Tonight, in our 12 Months, 12 Causes series, we focus on Pride Month, the LGBTQ community, and our friend, NBC Palm Springs political analyst and veteran journalist Hank Plante, who was at ground zero of the AIDS crisis.
12 months, 12 causes. NBC Palm Springs celebrates the Coachella Valley's LGBTQ community in partnership with Royal Emerald Pharmaceuticals.
My name is Hank Plante. I was one of the first openly gay TV reporters in America. I spent most of my career on air in San Francisco as an anchor and reporter. So I thought I would work on Capitol Hill. I was out of work. I was a kid right out of college. I walked down the street past the Washington Post. And I thought, maybe I could do this for a while I'm waiting for these Capitol Hill jobs. Stayed for 2.5 years, fell in love with the news business.
People have sewn real life into these quilts, teddy bears, photographs.
So on June 5th of 1981, 40 years ago, Dr. Michael Gottlieb in Los Angeles published a report in the medical journals that he had seen these 5 cases of gay men with pneumocystis pneumonia. I was living in Los Angeles and working as a reporter for one of the stations there. And I had seen some of my gay friends start to lose weight pretty dramatically. And something was up. And I knew that this was going to be big. And so I started covering it. And then a little while after that, I worked in San Francisco, which was ground zero of the epidemic. And so working for one of the TV stations there, AIDS became my beat. And this was before the mainstream media was really picking up on it. It was always more than a story to me because these were my friends who were dying. And so it wasn't just the nightly news. On the other hand, I was able to use my position as a reporter to just tell the facts, tell people what was going on, because they weren't getting it from the networks at that point. And people had to have information. The Reagan administration was quiet. They weren't saying anything about it. I stood in front of Ronald Reagan in 1987 in a speech in D.C. when he said the word AIDS for the first time, 5 years into the epidemic.
That we have provided for research on AIDS, in addition to what I'm sure other medical groups are doing.
There were a few of us covering it in the beginning. I was the only one who was gay. I just felt like this was a cause. Not to take one side or the other, because AIDS did become political. But just, it seemed like at that point being a reporter was a gift. And I had to not take that lightly. Coming out early made me a better reporter and made me a better person. Because, when you slay your demons in life, it makes you stronger.
I need to ask you this question, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. There are people who think you're not bright enough to be president. You've heard this.
So in the year 2000, I had a week off by myself. I had a friend who had a house in Palm Springs, and she said, you should really check this place out if you haven't been there in a while. Here's the keys to my house. Go spend a week there. So I drove down and fell in love. I called my husband up. I said, you got to see this place. It was lots of gay people, which is good. So we started looking. And then 9/11 happened. I remember sitting down with him and having a conversation and saying, life is very short, and we need to pull the trigger on finding some place down there and thinking about the next phase of our lives. And that really was what spurred us to take some action. And then we found a great house, but back when it was affordable, in Palm Springs. I am most proud of the work that I did covering AIDS. I think that it made a difference, and I think we saved people's lives, which you can't say too much in TV news, because we were telling people how to not get this disease when the government was silent. And the award, well, we got a couple of Emmys for that, but I also got a Peabody Award, which is broadcasting's equivalent of the Pulitzer Prize. And I have that proudly in my home in Palm Springs, and that's really what I'm proudest of. I think the ideal future for gay and lesbian people is integration, where we just don't even think about who's gay and who's not gay. To get to call it a post-gay society, I think and I think that that'll happen.
12 months, 12 causes. NBC Palm Springs celebrates the Coachella Valley's LGBTQ community in partnership with Royal Emerald Pharmaceuticals.
Our friend Hank Plante next week will look at the role the AIDS epidemic played in building a dynamic and unique LGBTQ community right here in our Coachella Valley.